Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a family where sports has always been in a high place. My mother did track and field, and my father was into rowing.
He was a rower. Did you say rower? I heard thrower first. Oh yeah, rower.
No, throwing. I'm the first thrower in the family.
Yeah.
So we have always celebrated sports, and I think it kind of makes sense that I also became an athlete. I remember my mother saying that when we go to school, I have a twin brother as well.
How was the rivalry growing up in a family where sports is quite very present?
I mean, it's pretty deep topic, I would say, because all of our belief systems and everything we have to deal with as grown-ups comes from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my competitive nature also came from having a twin brother, because I think when I was a small child, I always had the impression that no matter what I do, I think my brother is still better than me, even if my results are better than, because he is a boy. Mm-hmm. I had this idea that he is better, and I think this that sort of vibe has been with me for the longest time, and I think it's only the past couple of years that I've really dug into this and see that this has been a limiting belief that I've put on myself, and but it has always also helped me a lot, because it has driven me to become better and better, but at the same time it has been exhausting, I admit. Yeah. But when me and my brother, when we go to school, that we should also have some sort of sports discipline that we attend, because everybody should do something athletic. I think my mother was, she knew that sports is very hard, and I think she didn't want me to become like a top athlete, you know, and I think my grandmother as well. But my father has always wanted us to be like Olympic athletes and Olympic gold medalists. When I went to school, I started out with volleyball, because my mother had a good friend who was a volleyball coach. And I don't know how, but at one point I also started to do cross-country skiing. We had really, really good cross-country skiers back then who were Olympic winners, and we were watching the Olympic Games all the time. And anyway, I was too eager with my training, so it didn't really work out. I was very, very ambitious and very stubborn. Didn't really want to listen to anybody. And I always thought that my coaches or trainers, they were like underestimating my powers and my skills. Mm-hmm. So I always did a little bit more, and I did some extra. And I think that it sort of pushed me in a really deep hole where eventually I wasn't really able to climb out. It started with the physical aspect of it, because when you overtrain, then you become really burnt out, and I had some issues with my heart eventually, and I wasn't able to, I wasn't really able to train at all at one point. Yeah, and it really affected me, because I think the doctor said that even if I continue with the sport, I would not be able to achieve the same results as I would have before the sickness or illness. And that sort of hit me hard, because I had really wrapped my identity or my life story around being an athlete. Yeah. And I didn't really know what else to do, because I didn't really have any other dreams. This is something that I had always envisioned. And if it's taken away from you, it's like a rug that you pull out of somebody's feet. And it was really, really hard to deal with it. When I actually let go of the idea that to become an athlete or to become an Olympic athlete, then sort of everything started to go uphill again, and that's when I found disc golf.
Then how did disc golf come about?
Even when I finished high school, I was still trying to sort of like do cross-country skiing and not really give up entirely. But I think after a couple of years, I was a skiing instructor in Australia, actually, after finishing high school.
Australia?
Yes.
Sure.
And then I think I figured out that the life must go on, and I cannot be stuck in the skiing world and in this idea of becoming somebody I clearly cannot be. And then life happened, and I became a mother. And I was living in another part of Estonia. There was this sports center where you can also do cross-country skiing, but there were disc golf baskets as well. So that's how I bumped into the disc golf baskets. I remember I borrowed the discs from the sports center, and I think I immediately sort of fell in love with the sport. And I didn't really take it as a sport. I took it as just a fun game and something to do when Isabel is sleeping.
With Isabel, like a trolley, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's how I did it. But it pretty quickly became something more, because I got better and better pretty quickly, and I think already on the first year I won Estonian nationals.
When you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, do you ever think like, I'm the best in the world at this thing?
I don't really think it's necessary. It doesn't really pop up in my mind. This is something that I take as a fact currently, because this is what the stats and the numbers are showing. And this is subject to change at any time. But it is just currently, this is how it is. And it is just a story about me. It's nothing more.
So how would you describe this season, the 2023 season?
I would just say that it is magical. And it has been really an honor to witness how this sort of magic has played out in my life. And I think it has a lot to do with my attitude and with how I handle things in my life currently, because I have had a lot of work with myself, and I feel like this is the result of me facing myself and my biggest fears and my biggest faults and so on. I always dream big, of course, but this season exceeded all my hopes.
So what's your mindset for next year? You've done so much, like all of it.
I do feel like I have achieved all my biggest goals that I've set for myself. But these new goals, they come to me just in like random moments. And then I just acknowledge them and start to work on them and dedicate myself to them. As the time goes on, I feel like the more I have this feeling that I am drawn to also help others achieve their goals and achieve their potential. So I feel like I also want to shift my focus on maybe teaching others what I have learned about myself and what works in order to achieve success or greatness. Going into disc golf, I never thought that I could become an athlete or I could live off of it. This has just been my passion, and I have always been drawn to disc golf. It's been magical. My whole career, I feel like it's been magical, and I think it has to do with me following my passion and having gone into it with a pure heart and not with any intention of getting any like glory or awards or achieving anything. It's just been coming from a very pure spot. So I think that's why it has gone the way it has.